past few years, I've been thinking about time and space and slowing down in my creative art practice. In 2023, I graduated with an MA in Public Art and Performance. Around the same time, I also left a museum job that I found completely draining. By the end of it all, I felt completely exhausted. I needed time to rest, regroup, and rebuild my energy. I had spent 2 years studying full time, working part time, and being a parent. Looking back, I don't think I realized just how depleted I was until I finally stopped. It was during that period that I began introducing the idea of slow creativity into my life. At first, slowing down didn't come naturally to me. For a long time, doing was how I measured progress. If I wasn't producing something, making something, or moving a project forward, I felt as though I wasn't really working. I followed toxic productivity without questioning the consequences of constant activity. What I didn't realize was that I was focusing almost entirely on outcomes. I didn't really think of the creative process as part of the work. Reflection felt secondary, something completely separate from creativity rather than an essential part of it. After my final MA project was finished and the final show ended, I gave myself permission to slow down. I spent time walking, thinking, being, and honestly, the effects were almost instant. My brain finally relaxed. I experienced the breathing space I had been craving for years. And gradually, creativity started returning in a different way. Not through pressure and deadlines, but through curiosity and reflective practices. Even though I believe in slow creativity and slowing down, it doesn't mean that I don't get pulled over by toxic productivity, because it happens, and it happens often, especially if you work on a few projects at the same time. And even recently, a friend of mine asked me if I ever listen to my own advice, because I do tend to work on a few projects at the same time, not because I'm unfocused or I don't pay enough attention to every single project, but because of my neurodiversity, and this is the way that I've always worked. For me, reflective practice isn't just one thing. It's a collection of small activities that help me reconnect with myself and my creativity. Sometimes it's walking through a forest or a park without podcasts or audiobooks. Sometimes it's choosing to walk instead of taking public transport, looking after my balcony garden, making tea, watching films and TV shows that I love, mostly from the 90s and 2000s, journaling, working on an art project, writing in my diary, baking, meditation. Of course, I don't do all those activities every single day, but they are there for me when I need them. Very recently, I started thinking about my creativity as this magnificent living and breathing organism that needs to grow and sometimes gets bigger, sometimes gets smaller, shrinks, and for that this organism needs time and space. Of course it's not easy, and I do catch myself, trying to do too much too fast. Instead of focusing on the process, I focus on the outcome, but I'm trying, and I'm developing processes that work for me and in my creative art practice. I would love to hear from you and learn from you how you actually create time and space in your creative practice or when you work on a creative project. So please leave your comments in the comment box below.